Lavrov, Moscow will continue to help Iraq and Syria in combating terrorism while the U.S. is interfering in other countries' affairs under the pretext of protecting human rights. Eliminating many terrorists from Daesh and al-Nusra. Minister of Economy and Foreign Trade, soon the productive banking loans will return, giving a priority for those who export more than 60% of their production. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Irado Krikorian with the news in English. Syrian Arab Army units carried out a series of operations against the terrorists, killing many of them and injuring others in eastern Ghouta and several other parts of Damascus countryside. A military source said that 5 terrorists were killed and their weapons were destroyed in a military operation east of Ain Tarma town. Another terrorist was killed at the roundabout of the high school in Harasta. Meanwhile, other operations in Jobar killed many terrorists and injured several others. In Homs countryside, Syrian Arab Army units killed many terrorists and injured others in a number of towns and villages. Syrian Arab Army units also foiled a terrorist attempt to infiltrate into a military post at Handour Dam, killing many terrorists. Syrian Arab Army units targeted the terrorist gatherings and hideouts in Daraa and its countryside, killing many terrorists and injured others. Syrian Arab Army units warded off a terrorist attack on the farms of Al-Ghazlan and Qasr al-Bitar and targeted their gatherings in Al-Qasr al-Saudi, west of Al-Ghazlan farm, and also in Atiba, Sida, al-Mayazin and Al-Msafra, killing dozens of terrorists and injuring others. In Dar al-Balad, Syrian Arab Army units eliminated a number of terrorists in the vicinity of the old customs and destroyed a warehouse for ammunition in Al-Hamadin neighborhood. In Aleppo and its countryside, Syrian Arab Army targeted the terrorist gatherings, killing many terrorists, injured others, and destroyed their weapons and ammunition. Syrian Arab Army units pounded the terrorist gatherings in Az-Zirbe, Al-Wudayhi, Kafar Da'il, Bshantara, Khan al-Asal, Tal Qrah, the Heat Station, and the Sheikh Said, killing many terrorists and injuring others. Also, Syrian Arab Army units eliminated many terrorists and destroyed their vehicles in Urm al-Kubra, Deir Hafer, Rasm Hermel, قبطان الجبل, Al-Amiriya, Bustan al-Qasr, Al-Mashhad, Al-Sukkari, Al-Ramuse, and Bani Zaid. Residents of Ain al-Arab, northeast of Aleppo, regained some sites in the eastern part of the city as they continue to confront attacks by the terrorist organization of Daesh. Local sources said that the people of the city are steadily resisting Daesh and have fought fierce battles in the streets against the terrorists, killing 16 of them. In Iraq, 16 civilians were killed and 30 others were injured in a suicidal terrorist bombing that targeted a mosque west of Baghdad. In At-Tarimiyya area north of the capital Baghdad, 4 people were killed by an explosive device. Security and medical sources have indicated that a terrorist detonated himself with an explosive belt inside Abbas al-Adili Mosque in Al-Harithiyya area west of the capital, killing 16 and injuring 30. Welcome back. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said that the US-led coalition aiming at eliminating the terrorist organization ISIS had to be formed based on the UN resolution, adding that targeting ISIS inside the Syrian territory without the approval of the Syrian government is an act that violates the UN Charter. Lavrov added that the US and other Western governments have the intention to impose hegemony over the world by adopting a bilateral policy. He concluded by saying that the US and its allies adopt a policy that jeopardizes any peaceful solution for world's conflicts, and that they interfere in other countries' internal affairs on the pretext of preserving human rights. Iranian Foreign Minister Jawad Zarif and UN Special Envoy to Syria Staffan de Mistura stressed the need for reaching a political solution to the crisis in Syria. During a meeting in Tehran, the two sides referred to the danger of the terrorist organization of the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria and the outbreak of violence and terrorism in the region. The two sides also stressed the need for exerting efforts by the key players at the international and regional levels for reaching a political solution to the crisis on the basis of the facts in the Syrian arena. Member of the Israeli Knesset, Hanine al-Zu'bi, said that there is no difference whatsoever between the brutal practices of the terrorist organization of ISIS and those of the Israeli army, as they both target the civilians, pointing out that as some ISIS terrorists behead and kill one or two victims cold-bloodedly, Israeli jet fighters kill dozens by pushing one button. She went on to say that the ISIS terrorist sees his victims by his own eyes killed, whereas the Israeli jet fighter who pushes the button doesn't. She concluded by saying that the Israeli army comprises so many terrorists who outnumber those of the ISIS. Finally, the Turkish opposing Republican People's Party has voiced utter discontent over the verdict taken by a Turkish court to close the corruption and bribery case that shook the ruling Justice and Development Party last year, and not to hold those involved in the case accountable. A senior figure in the party said that the government of the Justice and Development Party practices hegemony over the judicial system and exercises pressure on it, adding that this government seeks to turn the illegal practices of cooperation and bribery into legal ones by closing all the files that have been examined, despite the fact that so many evidences have been presented to the court. With this, we conclude our news for today. Thank you for watching. For more details about Syria and the region, and to view this bulletin again, you can always visit our website in English, syriaonline.sy. Now to latest business and market news with Vani Gunjan, but after a short break.